Nithyanandam, this is Ma Nithyananda Bodhana, and I'm so happy to be back here in the Bangaluru Aadheenam, but it really was such a wonderful trip to Tiruvannamalai with Swamiji. So what I was thinking about is hierarchy. And, we all have different backgrounds, but I had maybe some unique things in my perception of the world that have to do with hierarchy that I really came up against something different here in the Bangaluru Aadheenam with the Gurukul Kids. I shouldn't say came up against, something melted in me because of being able to be here around the Gurukul Kids. So the family that I grew up in had 9 family members, and there was definitely a strong hierarchy both between males and females and between ages and even sizes. And a couple of the precious memories that I have that have to do with this hierarchy is that at one point when all of the, at that point 5 kids were attending the same school, we would walk in this straight line down the street with the oldest at the head of the line, then the next oldest, next to the smallest. And it was both by height also. And neighbors used to comment on this, how every day of the week we would walk to school in this straight line from the tallest to the shortest or the oldest to the youngest, whichever way you want to look at it. And within my family structure itself, there was a very strong sense of age hierarchy that, when you were old enough, you were able to do certain things, and you didn't do certain things until you were old enough. Let's say, for example, ear piercing. You could get your ears pierced when you were 16 and not before then. There's other certain cultural things, the prom, which you can only go to as a junior or senior. And I would see my older sisters and brother doing that and just longing, waiting for the day when I could do that. Maybe that's not so much hierarchy, but in my mind it still had to do with that if you were older, you had more advantages and you had more available things you could have and do in life. And there was definitely, I had a strong sense of age even with my elders, like that with my great-grandmother, my grandmother, that they were more respected, highly respected because of their age. And with that came a certain amount of, not sure about benefits, but definitely in the hierarchy, the older you were, the more, it's not respect, but you couldn't act certain ways around somebody who was older, let's put it that way. Okay, so all this is really set strongly in me. And there's a strong sense that I grew up then in terms of social hierarchy and my place in life and where I am not allowed out of that place in life, which I fully admit is my projection or my perception. Now, I come to the Aadheenam here for 4 months, and I can't even tell you how different it is and how much melting happened in me to see the Gurukul kids from the youngest to the oldest. Let's say youngest is, I don't know, age 5? I mean, because there's really young kids here that live here with their parents, but they're still part of the Gurukul, up to the oldest at age 18. And how, from the youngest to the oldest, they'll sit side by side. The oldest will be helping the youngest. Now, I love at the Antioch school where my husband works that they really believe in this pairing of older and younger. They believe that it helps the older one's maturity to teach the younger, and the younger one loves to hang out with the older. But at the Gurukul, it's different even from that. It's just completely natural that no matter what the age, they simply interact with each other. It's as if there is no age difference in terms of who you hang out with or who helps who. So in a lot of society, especially in the American and the public school system, which is segregated by grades and ages, it might be very much looked down upon if you have to hang out with somebody a year younger than you, for example, because it means you're put with a younger class. But at the Gurukul, I didn't see any of this. I didn't see any separation or judgments or feeling that the younger age was any less than the older. In fact, when it comes to manifesting powers, one of the younger kids actually was one of the first to manifest the Akashic readings. And so here, it just disproves everything that I grew up with, that you can only attain and do certain things with age. So then for me, I have my own shyness about being with these kids that seem so advanced and they're manifesting powers and they're so confident of themselves and their abilities. But gradually I am being accepted by the kids, being just called out to help them to run up and get flowers for Akashic readings or to accompany them. It's such a beautiful thing. So it's a small thing to share, but a big thing in my life, this breaking down of the idea of 1 year older, meaning 1 year greater, 1 year better, 1 year more senior. There's just none of that here at the Gurukul. And I'm so happy to be part of that and so happy to have this cognition also be changed. Nithyanandam.